Today we're going to be going over my finally completed truck garage in GTA Online. I almost have a garage for every single class of car in this game, and we're finally going over my truck garage. Starting off, we have the Bravado Rat Truck, which was first introduced into GTA Online with the festive update, which came out in late 2014. The only good thing about this car is that it looks good. Like, the performance is terrible, the traction is terrible, the handling, everything is just completely bad about driving this car, but it just looks insane. I had to have it. It's super OG, so you know we had to have it in our garage. Moving on, we have one of our newer trucks introduced into GTA Online. You can maybe call it a truck. It's pretty much just an SUV, but it's the Monstro City, which is a spin-off of the GTA 4 vehicle. Like I was saying, this car is very new. It came out in the San Andreas Mercenaries update, and you can buy this car for $1.4 million. Now, is it worth it? I'm not entirely sure. I've only driven this about 3 or 4 times, but in my experience, it's actually a very underrated car in terms of performance. So if you want to spend $1.4 million to get a car that looks like this, go right ahead. Next up, we have another super OG truck in this game, which is the real-life version of the Jeep. We have the Canis Mesa Merryweather Edition. So the only way you can actually get this vehicle is if you call Merryweather services on some random player in your session. And when the Merryweather authorities come at that player that you called them on, they roll up in this awesome looking Jeep that you can actually put a tracker on and put into your garages for completely free. As far as customizations go, there really isn't a whole lot that you can do, but this is still an amazing car to have, especially if you're an OG player. Next up, we have one of my favorite trucks in the entire game, and I actually just made a video about this truck, so make sure you go check that out. But here we have the Kamacho, which only goes for $345,000, and it is one of the most underrated vehicles in the entirety of GTA Online. For only $300,000, you can buy a top 7 truck in terms of performance, and with all the different customizations you can add to this truck, it is completely worth all the money you will spend, and it is by far to this day one of the best trucks to have. Highly recommend getting this thing. Next up, we have the Mammoth Patriot military spec truck, which is probably one of the coolest trucks you can buy in the entire game. There are a ton of different customizations you can put on this thing. I mean, just looking at it right here, you can see that I added so much to this. This truck will go for $1.7 million or $1.2 with a trade price. You can buy it on the San Andreas Super Auto website, and it came out in the contract update, which released pretty recently within the past 2 years in 2021. $1.7 million for a truck seems really expensive, but this thing is entirely worth it. In terms of performance, you can literally just base it off of the Kamacho. These two vehicles are very similar in it. They both reach about 117 miles per hour top speed. But like I was saying, if you want a truck with a very, very high value, go ahead and buy this one. It's definitely going to be worth it. Next up, we have the HVY Menacer. I literally only bought this truck just to protect myself from oppressor MK2s. The Menacer was released with the After Hours update, which came out in 2018, so this truck has been around for quite some time now. The best part about this truck is not only does it have a big fat turret on top, but it also has a machine gun coming out of the front of the vehicle. For the defensive side of the Menacer, it can take up to 19 humming rockets, which is perfect for all the MK2s roaming around Los Santos, and it can also take up to 7 RPGs before blowing up. So this truck is definitely going to prevent you from getting griefed on. If you want to purchase this, you do have to have a mobile operations center, and once you have the MOC, you can buy this for $1.7 million. Now, in terms of performance, you can get this Menacer all the way up to 95 miles per hour, which is actually really decent for an armored truck in this game. But yes, if you are looking to get away from those griefing players with the humming launchers, definitely go buy yourself a Menacer. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites in all of the game. And of course, moving on to the next truck, we have another armored vehicle, the Insurgent. I never use this truck at all, but I've always had it in my garage, which literally came out in 2015. So this is super OG, and I think that's the only reason why people still buy this thing. You can buy this for just under $900,000, or after you complete the Humane Labs raid, you can get it for $675,000. So you actually get a pretty decent discount after finishing the heist. Back in 2015, this was definitely the vehicle to have, as it was just a complete beast on the road and no one would ever mess with an Insurgent. But now, since we have vehicles like the Menacer, the Insurgent isn't as popular as it used to be. But for defense, it can take up to 22 homing missiles, which is actually better than the Menacer. And it can take up to 7 sticky bombs or 7 direct rocket launcher shots. So overall, these two trucks are going to help prevent you from griefers. I just like the Menacer a little bit better because it comes with a turret, but you can add the extra money to get them on the other Insurgent variants out there in the game. Next up, we have probably one of the most recognizable vehicles in all of GTA Online, which is the Sand King XL. You can buy this for $45,000, or you can literally just go out to Sandy Shores and find one on any corner of the street out there. The Sand King XL obviously came with the release of GTA 5 and GTA Online, and I remember when the game first released, almost everyone had this truck in their garage already. There's not much to say about the Sand King XL other than it's just a really OG awesome truck. Highly recommend putting this in your garage if you don't have one already, and there's actually a ton of different customizations you can add to it. Last and certainly least, we have the Slam Truck. The Slam Truck would be 10 times cooler if you could actually put cars on the back. For some reason, they let you tow cars on here, but they just fall off. Like, there's no reason. Why do we even have this vehicle if we can't even tow cars? It makes no sense. It is kind of cool to drive around, but there's literally no point for it. The Slam Truck goes for $1.3 million, and it's not worth it. Do not buy this thing. It's not worth it. It looks cool. Like, it looks pretty sweet, but there's literally no point for it. Like, I don't even know why I have it. I think I got it off the podium wheel. And $1.3 million for this is just crazy. And that is all that I have for my truck garage tour in GTA Online. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know any recommendations, what I should replace, what I should add, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.